Hey guys, what's up? Spen here. So in today's video, I'm bringing you another Palantir video. Now, I will be presenting some very bullish data on Palantir. This data is very relevant to the earnings play I've been talking about. Now, I think earnings is a pivotal moment for Palantir. You see, a lot of investors are very interested in this stock right now, except we all know it's trading at a premium right now, okay? It's not a cheap stock, but it's not overly expensive at the same time. However, it needs to prove itself. A lot of people don't believe it can sustain its current growth rate. Now, if this earnings is a blowout, which I think it is, we're going to keep a lot of investors interested in the stock. You're going to see the stock really appreciate. Now, if the earnings report is not good and they come short of their target estimates, I think we're going to see a pretty harsh sell-off. So this earnings report is very important and I will be walking you guys through it. We're either going to see the stock price shoot to the moon or fall big time. So I will be tracking it for you guys. Make sure to subscribe to this channel if you want to stay up to date on this information. And make sure to smash a thumbs up. It really helps to grow this channel. Now let's get straight into it. So earnings is actually May 11th, and they'll be reporting their earnings prior to the market open. Now, the company's also going to have its conference call to discuss its results at 6 a.m. and 8 a.m. Eastern Time. So I will be covering the conference call and the results of the earnings on this channel. So stay tuned for that. It is a very important one, guys. Now, some of the bullish data that I did find is it says here our business grew significantly in 2020. Now, we know we saw about 47% revenue growth and 17% adjusted operating margin, but where things actually get interesting is right here. So 21 deals signed in Q4 of 2020, each worth $5 million or more, 12 of which were each worth more than $10 million. Now, this revenue is obviously going to be spread out over the coming years. It depends on the length of the contract. However, a lot of this revenue wasn't reflected in the Q4 earnings and is going to be partially reflected into the earnings we're about to report on. So, this is one factor as to why I believe we are going to blow out earnings, but this is definitely positive for us and gives us reason to believe we're going to have a good earnings report. Now, the next slide I want to show you, and this one is really impressive. So we generated 84% adjusted gross margin and 62% contribution margin in Q4 2020. So you guys can see in Q4 2019, we went from 72% all the way to 84% in just 1 year. That's a massive jump for any company. And you can see that in all their margins around the board. Huge jumps. This is very bullish. We're eventually going to see this company make some serious profits. We're not quite there yet. They're super focused on growth, but that's a good thing. We want this company to acquire as many customers as possible because we know Palantir has a very high retention rate. So be patient with earnings. They will be coming soon. Now, another thing that I really like to see, and I think a lot of you guys are really going to like this slide because a lot of you are concerned about something I'm about to show you. So revenue from our top 20 customers is increasing. You can see in 1 year from 495 million all the way to 663 million. That is very impressive. Their top biggest customers are increasing the amount they spend on Palantir by a lot. That's amazing to see. But what's actually more important, and I like to see this, and I think you guys are really going to like to see this, is the customer concentration of our top 20 customers as a percentage of our total revenue is decreasing. So it went from 67% to 61% in just 1 year. And this is one of your guys' biggest concerns, is that Palantir is too concentrated on certain customers. This data is clearly showing us they're becoming less reliant on just a few customers. Their total revenue is now being spread out amongst more customers, and this is partly because they're getting really heavy into the commercial side of things now. So as they push more and more into the commercial space, you're going to see this number continue to drop, and it is overall safer. However, I'm not concerned about it either way. Government contracts are as safe as it gets regardless. Now moving on, I want to show you guys the chart. So I did show you guys this chart last time. I just want to give you a little update on it. So what I mentioned last time is that we're having higher lows and lower highs. This is going to create a convergence, as we can see, as these two trend lines eventually meet up. Now, what I expect to happen is that we're probably going to continue to trade in this range over the next few days. But you can see it really converges right around earnings. Now, it doesn't have to make it all the way to the end of these trend lines. It could break out, for all I know, tomorrow. It could break above this trend line, and the stock is going to go probably on a bull run according to technical analysis. Now, nothing's perfect. This is just possibilities. Anything can happen in the stock market. You guys know your rest. So now, if you do see it break above this trend line, I do expect to see a leg higher. However, it can always go lower. So you also want to watch the bottom trend line. If it breaks below that trend line, that could be a warning sign. If you're in this stock for the long term, you might not be so worried. But if this is a short-term trade and you got options, I'd be careful seeing the price drop below that trend line. However, I think the catalyst, which is going to drive the direction of the share price, is earnings. I think if we see really good earnings, we see the stock explode. If we see bad earnings, we're going a lot lower. That's really going to be the catalyst in my eyes, so I'll make sure to keep you guys updated on it. Anyways, that's all I have for today's video. If you liked it, make sure to drop it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you guys want to stay up to date on Palantir content, and I'll see you guys on the next video.